now with Simon Koss. Simon, you're the CMO of Microsoft.
Correct.
Simon, HoloLens. It's a new style of virtual reality or augmented reality.
Yeah, we call it augmented or mixed reality. Unlike virtual reality, which is a totally immersive environment, mixed reality overlays holographic projections onto the real world, which you can still see quite clearly.
Yeah, which is, you can still use your daily living skills. You're not tied to a wire.
Right, you're not walking around and falling downstairs.
Yeah. So what's some practical applications for that?
So we're finding that holographic computing is perfectly suited to education, training and skills development in technical areas, and that includes healthcare. So the example we talked through in the session up there in Hinds was how they're using it at Case Western Reserve University, which is part of Cleveland Clinic. They're going to be teaching their medical students anatomy just using holographic computing rather than traditional cadaver dissection.
That's a huge change from that to, so what are the advantages for the students? Probably pretty obvious.
Look, in addition to being able to have quite an interactive session with this hologram, you can walk around them, you can peel back layers. It adds the ability to collaborate with others as well. So you can have virtual avatars if they're in the same room with you, or even if they're not in the same room with you, and bring interactive elements into it, like polling and multiple choice questions. It's a totally different style of learning.
And three-dimensional as well, because it's not just the traditional way of learning.
Yeah, three-dimensional and contextually aware as well. So this holographic computing required a totally different interface. There's no mouse, there's no keyboard, so the cursor becomes your gaze. The mouse click becomes air tap gestures, and we need to have a sophisticated voice recognition system in there so that you can talk through things that ordinarily you'd use more mechanical forms of input.
I understand you showed a video during your presentation about a blind person using the hologram?
Yeah, so look, holographic computing is a journey, and the HoloLens, which has so much attention at the moment, is just a point in time along the journey. We want this to be a platform used by many different hardware vendors. We hope they create better HoloLenses than we have, but we've put a prototype device out there. What we saw in the video was how we're using Microsoft cognitive services, surfacing them up through a specially designed device called the Pivot Head Smart Glasses, and this is for blind people. It can see the world around them, it can recognise objects, and then it can describe them to the blind person so they can see the world around it.
So what's an example of that?
You're sitting in the park, you touch the Pivot Head Smart Glasses, you take a quick screen capture of what's going on, and it'll say, I think it's a young girl throwing an orange frisbee in the park. I think it's a man doing a trick on a skateboard.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And it's smart enough to not only identify people, but their ages and their emotions.
Okay.
So the example in the video has this blind gentleman sitting there, takes a snapshot. I think it's a 32-year-old lady looking happy and a 42-year-old man with a beard looking surprised.
So you say that Microsoft's role in this is around creating a platform for other people to build on. So what would you expect people to developers or people to be able to use this for? Where is it going?
Yeah, so there are two roles. Firstly is the research, secondly is the commercialisation. And on the commercialisation side of it, in all of our go-to-markets, we use a partner-based approach. So we will provide the technology and the guidance and the reference frameworks, but it's specifically our partners who are skilled in these technologies, working with customers who have the appetite to come up with meaningful scenarios. I mentioned the anatomy training example from Case Western Reserve University, but we're similarly finding in other technical areas, we're working with Saab and Boeing and Volvo to understand the complex machinery in a very immersive three-dimensional way.
Simon, it sounds fascinating. I suppose the message is watch this space.
Watch this space. This has the potential to be the next computing frontier, but it will require an entire ecosystem approach to come up with the bigger and better devices, and then all of the ideas from partners and customers around the world to reinvent this world of holographic computing.
Simon, thank you very much for your time today.
You're very welcome, Mark. Thank you.